Did you know that the habits you're still maintaining after 70 could be rare indicators of exceptional longevity? Many assume aging means slowing down, but that's not always the case. In fact, seniors who retain certain everyday abilities aren't just aging, they're thriving. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful traits that, if you're still practicing them after 70, set you apart in extraordinary ways. These aren't about extreme fitness. They're simple, daily actions that point to strong physical health, sharp mental acuity, emotional balance, and a level of resilience many younger people struggle to maintain. Let's start with the first one. Number 1, full independence in daily life. One of the clearest signs you're thriving, not just surviving in your 70s, is the ability to live independently. If you're still preparing your own meals, doing your shopping, handling errands, keeping your home in order, and managing your responsibilities without assistance, you're in a unique group. This kind of self-sufficiency shows more than physical strength. It reveals cognitive sharpness, good decision-making, and emotional steadiness. What may seem routine to you is, in fact, rare. Many people gradually pass off daily tasks to others, sometimes out of necessity, but often due to fear or social expectations about aging. But not you. Take Ruth, a 78-year-old woman who walks to the grocery store every Saturday. List in hand, cart rolling beside her, she cooks, pays bills, keeps her home clean, and volunteers weekly at her local library. Her neighbors see a kind, familiar face. What they may not realize is that her steady independence is a quiet, powerful statement. She's still fully engaged in life. This level of autonomy isn't about ego, it's about dignity. Managing your own life, from the small chores to larger responsibilities, creates a quiet confidence. You don't need to declare you're doing well. People can see it in the way you move, act, and show up day after day. And it's not just physical. Independence like this is also mental. It means you're still showing up with presence, with purpose. You're still learning, adapting, and staying active in your own story. That's rare, and it's worth celebrating. If you're living like this, don't overlook how special it is. Yes, you've earned every one of your years, but the way you're still showing up for yourself every day, that's extraordinary. Number 2, regular physical activity. If you're still moving your body consistently after 70, you're part of a rare and impressive group. Most people begin to slow down over time, not necessarily because they have to, but because society has taught them it's expected. But movement is one of the clearest signs of vitality. It means your body still responds to your mind's commands, and that's powerful. Now, we're not talking about extreme workouts or running marathons, though some older adults do. We mean simple, steady forms of exercise, daily walks, light yoga or stretching, gentle bike rides, swimming, tending a garden. Any movement that keeps your body engaged and your blood flowing. These activities might seem minor, but they reflect something major. A refusal to let age define your limits. Choosing to move is choosing to live fully. You're not just maintaining strength and stamina. You're preserving balance, improving circulation, protecting your bones, and even sharpening your memory. You're also reducing your risk of falls, chronic pain, and illness. Take Harold, for example. He's 82 and walks his neighborhood park every single morning, rain or shine. For him, it's not about exercise, it's about breathing, thinking, and staying connected. That consistent walk has kept his legs strong, his heart healthy, and his outlook bright. Too many seniors stop moving not out of necessity, but because no one encourages them to continue. But if you're someone who still prioritizes physical activity, you're doing something extraordinary. You're building a foundation of independence for the years ahead, and people around you notice, even if they don't always say it aloud. This kind of movement doesn't need to be flashy. What matters is that it's consistent, intentional, and rooted in strength. If you're still lacing up your shoes, stretching your limbs, or lifting even the lightest weights, you're showing resilience, determination, and a quiet kind of wisdom that says, I'm still here and I'm still in motion. And that in itself is remarkable. Number 3, driving safely and confidently. If you're over 70 and still driving yourself wherever you need to go, smoothly, safely, and with confidence, you may not realize how rare and impressive that truly is. Driving isn't just a routine. It's one of the most mentally and physically demanding everyday tasks we do. It requires sharp reaction time, hand-eye coordination, decision-making, visual awareness, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. If you're managing all of that and still navigating roads with ease, you're demonstrating a level of cognitive and physical vitality that many your age have already let go of. Most older adults don't make a big announcement when they stop driving. It just fades out, first avoiding highways, then nighttime drives, until one day the keys stay in the drawer for good. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes pressure from family. But if you're still confidently parallel parking, making quick decisions at intersections, and taking new routes without anxiety, that's not just skill, it's freedom. Take Bill, 79. Every Sunday he drives to pick up pastries for his church group. He knows the roads, never needs GPS, keeps up with traffic laws, and even checks his reflexes at his annual physical. For Bill, driving isn't about transportation, it's about maintaining his independence and self-respect. Driving keeps you engaged in your community, gives you control over your time, and connects you to the world beyond your doorstep. It's more than mobility, it's autonomy. From a neurological standpoint, driving is one of the most demanding tasks we perform. It tests memory, attention span, reflexes, coordination, and problem-solving skills all at once. Every time you get behind the wheel and handle it well, it's proof that your mind and body are still working together smoothly. Plenty of people decades younger have already stepped away from driving, not because they're incapable, but because they lack confidence. So if you're still safely in the driver's seat, you're part of a small, remarkable group who continue to balance ability with awareness. And whether people say it aloud or not, they notice. They see your reliability, your calm, your quiet strength. That subtle confidence behind the wheel says it all. You've still got it. And the truth is, you absolutely do. Number 4, strong memory without relying on reminders. If you're over 70 and still remembering appointments, birthdays, errands, and meaningful conversations without needing sticky notes, phone alerts, or constant reminders, you're doing something truly extraordinary. In today's world, where even younger people rely on technology to keep track of everything, being able to retain and recall details naturally sets you apart in a big way. Having a sharp memory at this stage in life isn't just about remembering where you left your keys. It's about how efficiently your brain is still processing, storing, and retrieving information. It means your executive functioning, your ability to plan, organize, pay attention, and juggle multiple tasks is still intact and running smoothly. It's also about mental agility, emotional awareness, and staying responsive in the moment. Let's be real. Many people begin to joke about memory slips as early as their 60s, forgetting names, losing their train of thought mid-sentence, or wondering why they walked into a room. It becomes almost expected, part of the stereotype of aging. But consistent, accurate memory is never just luck. It's a reflection of your daily choices, what you eat, how you sleep, how mentally active you stay, and how connected you are to life around you. Consider Margaret, 81. She lives alone, yet she never misses a grandchild's birthday or a dentist appointment. She remembers community events, neighborhood conversations, and important dates, all without using a planner or digital calendar. Her mind holds her schedule, and her stories are full of vivid detail. She doesn't just remember, she engages, responds, and connects with those around her. That kind of mental clarity isn't something that suddenly appears. It's cultivated over years of staying curious, reading, listening, solving problems, and refusing to settle into passive routines. You don't need a perfect memory to be mentally sharp. We all forget things occasionally, but when you can hold on to the thread of a story, recall a funny detail from years ago, remember someone's name after just one meeting, or keep up with a layered conversation without losing focus, that speaks volumes. Neurologically, it means your short-term and long-term memory systems, your attention span, and your brain's ability to retrieve information are all still in sync. This type of sharpness often goes unspoken, but people around you notice. They feel the difference when they're talking to you. Your presence, your attentiveness, your ability to connect the dots and make them feel remembered and heard. That kind of presence is rare, and it brings life and depth to your interactions. So if you're still living your day-to-day life without constant reminders, if your mind still holds important timelines, appointments, and meaningful stories, recognize how exceptional that is. You're not just aging, you're thriving. You're living proof that aging doesn't have to mean fading, and that your mind, when nurtured, can stay fully alive well into your later years. Number 5. Willingness to learn new skills or technology. If you're in your 70s or beyond and still curious enough to learn something new, whether it's a skill, a hobby, or even a piece of technology, you belong to a rare and inspiring group. Many people don't slow down mentally because their brains can't handle more. They slow down because they stop giving their minds fresh challenges. Routine becomes comfortable, and that comfort eventually becomes a kind of quiet limitation. But you're different. If you've ever signed up for a class, watched a tutorial, figured out how to use your phone to text the grandkids, or tried your hand at a new app, you're choosing growth over complacency. That act of choosing to try something new is powerful. It requires mental energy, patience, resilience, and humility, and it keeps your brain alive. Learning later in life isn't easy, but it's like strength training for your mind. Every time you try, you're reinforcing your neural connections and stimulating brain function in deeply beneficial ways. Take Eleanor, for example. At 76, she had no background in photography, but signed up for a community college course on digital photography because she wanted to take better photos of her garden. Today, she's editing her images on a tablet and emailing them to friends. She's not doing it for attention. She's doing it because she's still curious. That's what sets her apart. That's what sets you apart. It doesn't matter whether you're learning to bake sourdough, trying out yoga online, or navigating a new app to track your walking. Every new thing you attempt keeps your mind flexible and your world expanding. That willingness to engage is a sign of inner strength and openness. It shows courage, because learning later in life means being okay with not getting it right immediately, asking for help and being open to trying again. That's not a weakness, it's wisdom in action, and people around you notice. Your family, your community, even strangers see that quiet spark, the one that says you haven't stopped growing. It earns respect and admiration, often more than words can express. In fact, studies show that older adults who consistently learn new skills, especially those involving technology, coordination, or memory, experience better cognitive health, improved mood, and stronger social ties. So when you say, "Let me try that," even if it's uncomfortable or unfamiliar, you're doing something extraordinary. You're keeping your brain strong, your curiosity alive, and your world full of possibility. Number 6, nurturing strong social bonds. If you're over 70 and still actively engaging with others, whether it's calling friends, joining small gatherings, inviting someone over for coffee, or simply chatting with neighbors, you're doing something truly exceptional. Because maintaining social connections at this stage of life is more than just pleasant company. It's a form of emotional vitality that protects your health, sharpens your mind, and keeps your spirit alive. As we grow older, it's common for our social worlds to shrink. Friends may move away, loved ones pass on, health issues arise, and before long, solitude becomes the default. Many people begin to withdraw, not out of preference, but because it feels easier than fighting the tide of change. But if you're someone who still chooses to reach out, who still values conversation, laughter, shared meals, or the simple act of being present with another person, you are not giving in to that drift. You're choosing connection, and that choice matters more than you might realize. Take Walter, for instance. At 84, he lives alone, but every Wednesday, without fail, he hosts a small lunch group. It's nothing elaborate, just soup, sandwiches, and plenty of conversation. His guests look forward to it each week, but Walter, he says it keeps him young. That's not just a sweet sentiment, it's the truth. Social interaction like that, no matter how casual, stimulates the brain, lifts the mood, reduces feelings of loneliness, and even boosts physical health. Studies show it lowers stress, strengthens the immune system, and helps stave off memory decline and depression. But here's what makes it even more powerful. Staying socially active isn't always convenient. It takes energy, initiative, and a commitment to emotional presence. That's why it's so rare and so admirable. It means you haven't shut down. You haven't let grief or time or the challenges of age harden you. Instead, you've stayed soft where it matters, open, generous, willing to share space, time, and warmth with others. And what you may not realize is how deeply your presence impacts those around you. That one phone call you make? It might be the reason someone else feels seen today. That lunch you host, the message you send, the simple act of showing up, it might be someone's lifeline. Human connection is never one-sided. When you give it, you also receive it. And when you stay engaged with others, you're not just nourishing your own life, you're enriching the lives of everyone you touch. That kind of emotional courage, because yes, it is a kind of courage, is often overlooked. But it's a strength that many lose with time. You've held on to it, and that speaks volumes. Let's zoom out and look at the full picture. We've explored 6 remarkable qualities. 1. Full independence in daily life. 2. Regular physical movement. 3. Confident, safe driving. 4. A sharp, self-sufficient memory. 5. Openness to learning and growth. 6. Deep, intentional social engagement. Each of these traits on their own is impressive, but together they form a portrait of a life still filled with presence, purpose, and vitality. Aging isn't about how long you've lived, it's about how you live now. If you're still doing any of these things, even just one, pause and recognize the significance. Many people your age, and even decades younger, have let go of those habits. They've stepped back from the world, but not you. You're still in it, fully. And that is rare. You may not think of what you do every day as anything extraordinary. You might say, this is just my routine. But trust me, it's far from ordinary. In fact, the way you live might quietly be inspiring someone else. Your grandchild sees you moving with purpose. Your neighbor notices you heading out for coffee with friends. A stranger watches you lift a bag of groceries and thinks, wow, look at them go. So the next time you question whether you're doing anything meaningful, remind yourself of this. Showing up fully at this stage of life, with strength, grace, and resilience, is not just impressive, it's a legacy, one that speaks louder than words. And if you've made it this far in the video, I'd love to know, what did you take away from today's message? What's one thing you recognize in yourself that you might have taken for granted before? Share it in the comments below. Your words matter. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss future content like this. Thank you for being here, for being you, and for proving every day that aging doesn't mean fading. It means living with intention and showing the world that your story is far from over. We'll see you in the next video.